bad? What made you have a bad day? Do you want to share your bad day with us, Dynasty?
Well, when I was getting dressed in the morning, I didn't want to wear this because it was ugly. And my grandma said, too bad, because I had to wear it. And then when I was in the car, I started crying. That was my bad day.
And that's why you had a bad day, because your grandma said that she picked out your clothes and you didn't really want to wear those clothes. That's why you had a bad day. And what made your day get better? Did it get better? Kind of. What made it get better?
When people said that it don't matter because I still look pretty.
So people told Dynasty it doesn't matter because she still looks pretty. So you turned your bad day around. You changed your attitude and you had a better day. Now in this book, let's see if the same thing happens to Alexander, or let's see what happens to him with his bad day. So we're reading Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day by Judith Viorst. I went to sleep with gum in my mouth, and now there's gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on a skateboard by mistake. And by mistake, I dropped my sweater in the sink while the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. So let's stop right here. I want you to look at Alexander's face. What does he look? How does he look, Jimmy?
Angry and upset.
He looks angry and upset. He's like this. He's making kind of an upset face. So, why do you think he looks angry? What about his face makes him angry?
Because he ain't. He had Superman run beside his bed.
No.
Wait,
listen.
And he said he gonna have a very, very, very bad day.
So because he said he's having a very bad day, and his face just looks angry. Gerald, did you have one thing to add?
Yeah. He said he went to sleep with gum in his mouth and he had it on his hair, and then when he got off the bed, he tripped over a skateboard.
So that lets us know that he's already kind of having a bad day, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep reading. All right, sit up. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car kit in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. Do you have a question?
Why the mom and the brother, they look different, but he don't look like that?
What do you mean?
Like they black and white and he colored.
This book that's a really good question, Dynasty. That's a good observation. This book is old. It's probably 30 years old when this story was written. It was written 30 years ago. And when it was first written, it was black and white. So it's like somebody just took a pencil and did a sketch or a drawing, and they didn't color it in. And so this, you see on the front, this says special edition. So my book, it's special edition because Alexander is in color. And I don't know why they did it like that. Alexander is the only one in color and everyone else is in black and white. That's what they chose to do. Probably so. All right, let's keep reading. In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window too. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get a seat by the window, I am going to be carsick. No one even answered. I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Gerald, do you have a question?
I know what carsick means.
What does carsick mean?
It's like if you read a book in a car and the car keep moving around like this, it means you're going to get sick and throw up.
Carsick means motion sickness when you're in the car. Have you ever gotten carsick? Yeah, you're speaking from experience.
Some people turn green. Some people turn green.
Let's keep reading it. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. So look at his picture. What did he draw?
A castle.
What? Look.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Look at it, baby.
Look. And see, what did his friend draw?
A ship.
A ship, a sailboat. And so his teacher liked this picture better than the invisible castle. Do you agree or disagree?
She looking like I agree.
You agree? What do you agree with? What do you think?
That one better.
This one's better. Why is it better?
Because I raise my hand. Because he didn't draw nothing. He draw something.
Alexander didn't draw anything. He didn't even try because I remember from the beginning of the story, he woke up on the wrong side of the bed. He has a bad attitude all day. So he says, I'm not going to draw anything. I'll just pretend I drew an invisible castle. What does invisible mean?
That he think he have a visible person.
So an invisible person is someone you can't see. But an invisible castle is a castle you can't see. So this friend, he tried. He did his best and he drew a sailboat. And Alexander, he didn't try. So is this, on this page, this part of his day that's bad, do you think it's his fault? Do you think it's his fault that his teacher doesn't?
No.
Why?
Because he woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
So is that
bad luck?
He's having bad luck. Okay, what do you think, Dynasty? Are you gonna say something?
I think that he should have drawn something.
He should have drawn something, and he should have made some effort and drew something.
Don't you was thinking?
I was kind of thinking that. All right, let's keep reading. Sit up, honey. At singing time, she said, I sang too. Scoot over so you can see. Stay in your chair. At singing time, she said, I sang too loud. At counting time, she said, I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell this was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Why are you saying very bad day?
I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend and that I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone and the ice cream falls off the cone part and lands in Australia.
Why are they being so mean to him? Because he being mean to him.
So you think he's being mean to his friends and...
Okay, let me tell you they being mean to him.
Because they're being mean to him? Okay, Dynasty.
I think that he's not being mean to them. They being mean to him. That's why he being mean.
Okay, let's keep reading. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag. And Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds. And Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top.
Ooh.
Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, my mom took us all to the dentist, and Dr. Fields found a cavity just in me. Come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. How did you know? Okay. So, let's stop right here. Look, what is a cavity? He went to the dentist and the dentist found a cavity.
A cavity is like a infection.
An infection? Mm-hmm. Where?
Like his teeth.
In your teeth. That's a really good description, Gerald. A cavity is an infection in your tooth. How do you get a cavity?
I know.
How?
Because I had one before.
You've had a cavity before?
It's about you eat a lot of candy.
You eat a lot of candy. Mm-hmm. That sugar rots your teeth and it gives you cavities, Gerald.
If you don't brush your teeth,
mm-hmm.
I brush my teeth.
Sometimes. So it can be too much candy, not flossing. It could be a lot of things. Have a seat, honey. Next page. Let's see. On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot while we were waiting for my mom to go to get the car. Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then when I started crying because of the mud, Nick said I was a crybaby.
Ooh, that's not nice.
It's not nice. And while I was punching Nick for saying I was a crybaby, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. Now, look at this word, scolded. It says, my mom came back with the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. What does that word scolded mean?
Scolded means like you hurry up and go see what they do.
Jared?
Scolded means, I think scolded means for punching people who be mean to you.
So if your mom scolds you, that means she might start shaking that finger and she might be telling you, she might be telling you, Alexander, you don't play in the mud. Why are you muddy? She's getting onto them. She's saying, why were you punching your brother? Scolding means when your mom is getting onto you for doing something wrong, that's scolding.
Can I ask a question?
What's your question?
Why every time when the mom comes, she always get on to the boy that color and not the other boy?
To Alexander? Well, she didn't see Nick call Alexander a crybaby, but she did see Alexander punching Nick for calling him a crybaby.
But when he failed, she was right there and he called him a crybaby.
Sometimes moms don't see everything. They just see the last part. Kind of like if someone pushes you in the hall and you yell, "Hey, stop!" Your teacher might get onto you for saying stop because they didn't see you push. It just happens sometimes. You just have to explain what's going on. I'm having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. Sit up, honey.
He's asleep.
So then we went to the shoe store to buy some sneakers. Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes. Nick chose red ones with white stripes. I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said, "We are all sold out." Sit up. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them.
Even the shoes colored, the red one.
His old shoes are in color. When we picked up my dad at his office, he said I couldn't play with his copying machine, but I forgot. He also said watch out for the books on his desk. And I was careful as could be, except for my elbow. He also said don't fool around with his phone, but I called Australia. My dad said please don't pick him up anymore. It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner, and I hate limas. There was kissing on TV, and I hate kissing. And my bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear railroad pajamas. I hate my railroad pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took back the pillow he said I could keep, and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It has been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. My mom says, some days are like that. Even in Australia. Now, I want you to think of this. You like that story? I'm so glad. Now, good. It was a new book and you like it? Good, honey. Jimmy, sit up. Now, I want you to think about this question. Now, you're going to think hard because it's not just an easy answer. And really, scoot your chair up. There's no right answer or wrong answer. Dynasty, have a seat. There's no right answer or wrong answer. So think about this. How do you think Alexander's day would be different if he had a better attitude in the morning? How do you think his day might have been different, Dynasty?
If he had,
Think about it. I'll give you a second to think. Think about it. All right, Gerald, do you want to share your answer?
Like, if he had his dad's phone and he was, like, trying to catch it, it was, like, going up in there and he catched it.
When he was messing with his dad's phone, if he would have called it in the paper.
He bumped it with his elbow.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't fall.
Okay. So if he had a better attitude, some of the things that happened that day could be different. Jimmy, what do you think? What do you think? Do you have an idea? What's your idea?
So he won't listen to me.
Think about come back to you. Okay. Dynasty.
I think when he got bad, he should have been a little more careful.
He should have.
When he fell off the skateboard.
Okay. So if he wouldn't have been in such a foul mood, he could have been more careful. He wouldn't have tripped over the skateboard. That kind of set the mood for his whole day, right? Now. Okay, hold on, hands down. Now you have a lot of really good answers about why, how his day could have been different. Now I want us to talk about some, one thing. You remember, Jimmy? Tell us.
When the first time he got up on the wrong side of the bed, he was angry and upset, and then
he was angry and upset.
And then
listen.
His foot had got stuck, got shut on the door, and his brother had called him a crybaby, and he would punch him and then mean to him.
So how could his day have been different? All of those things.
And he said he's not going to wear it down, and he's not going to where he got
Australia.
Australia.
So all of those things.
And then Mr. Doctor had found a facility, and he said come back this week.
Okay.
He had a lot of stuff.
Yeah, see, he was paying attention. So now I'm going to give you a pencil, and we're going to talk about something. Now, in the book, Alexander made lots of choices. He made a choice to punch his brother since he called him a name, right? Now, you make choices every day, and things happen because of those choices.
Can I tell you?
So, you can listen. The choices that you make, that Alexander makes, are going to be the cause. And what happens because of those choices is going to be the effect. You know about cause and effect? So the cause is the choice that he makes. And the effect
is the bad thing.
Is the bad thing or the good thing. Effects don't always have to be bad. Sometimes they can be good. But it's what happens because of that choice. So, let's see. I want you to write a cause on a yellow Post-it. And I want you to write the effect on a pink Post-it. And then we're going to sort our answers. Now, before we start, and I'll let you do yours by yourself, let's look through the book and do a few together. Now, let's look at this first page. Listen, just 1 second, Jimmy. He fell asleep with gum in his mouth. That's the cause. What's the effect?
It's that the gum got in his hair.
The effect is he got gum in his hair. So if I were going to write on my Post-its, the cause is he fell asleep with gum in his mouth. And the effect is he woke up with gum in his hair. Does anybody have any questions about what we're doing?
I might ask you a question, but Dad's got my word.
That was going to be your answer. That's okay. Now, we'll go.